Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel, Books and Coffee with Ariadne. Normally I would say I got my coffee with me today, but today I have water. I have not been feeling well, so with my throat, it's been my throat. So had a small case of pharyngitis, so I'm just going to sip on some water today. So to jump right into my video today, I'm going to be talking about one of my absolute favorite authors, Beverly Jenkins. I absolutely love her books. She writes historical romance, and I love historical romance. Historical romance and historical fiction novels are my absolute favorites. Don't ask me to read nothing else. Just kidding. Just kidding. But yep, this is one of my all-time favorite genres because I love history and I learn a lot of history from these books. So to jump right into it, I'm going to talk about the House of LaVake first. The House of LaVake series. Oh my goodness. If I were to choose an absolute favorite series and a series where I learned the most, it would be House of LaVake. I've learned so much about, Reconstruction and Civil War, things that I didn't know before, and I've learned so much more than just what I learned in school and learned in history. It's amazing, definitely and absolutely amazing. So the first book, Through the Storm, I learned the most from. I never knew about the camps that the runaway slaves and escaped slaves and the free slaves had gone to. I never knew that they had these camps. But Sable, in the book, this book is about Sable and Raymond LaVake, and she meets Raymond at one of these camps after she runs away from the plantation during the Civil War. She is a biracial slave, or she was a biracial slave, and she could pass. She had a brother as well who could pass, and her brother chose to pass, which is going to be the next series I'm going to talk about. So, wonderful book. I'm going to save the summaries of each story. I'm just going to talk briefly about them because I want to do these in my favorite books of 2019 and do a summary on those. So, don't fret, I will have a summary about these books, most definitely. And I'm also going to leave links down below for each book if you would like to purchase it. So this is the first book in the LaVake series. And the LaVake series takes place in New Orleans for the most part. So this book takes place during the Civil War. During and after the Civil War, I'll say that. Winds of the Storm. Pretty much the same concept. This is the second book in the series, and this is Archer LaVake, Raymond LaVake's brother. Also, I was going to give you like a little fun fact. Raymond is actually originally from Indigo. I have not read Indigo, but I do plan to. It is on my bucket list after I purchase it. So, Winds of the Storm is the book that I am currently reading out of this series, and I absolutely love it. So far, it is amazing. It is about Archer LaVake and Zara Lafayette. Zara is a black slave, not a black slave. She is not a slave. She is a spy. She was a spy during the Civil War, and she worked with Ariadne, or also known as Harriet Tubman. Harriet Tubman plays a huge role in these books, and I love it. I love it. Just so much about it. It's amazing. So, in this book, I just love that the slave deals go. Spy. I love the spy type of the spy thing in this book. I don't know why I keep saying slave. I guess because I was thinking about Through the Storm a lot. So this book is amazing. I will not give a summary on this one, most definitely, because I am not finished reading it. So that is that on this one. And this is the second book in the series. And And then we have the third book, well, Captured. But Captured is actually a part of the Grayson series. So, but it is sort of like a prequel. This is Dominic LeVay and Claire. So I have not read this one yet, and it's like a prequel. This takes place during the American Revolution. So that is it for, that is just about it for the LeVay series. And this is pretty much, you could say, the most recent installation to the LeVay series, Rebel. But it is also the first book in the Women Who Dare series. I purchased this book last summer and I read it in the fall. This is definitely an amazing book. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. So this is Drake LeVay and Valinda Lacey. Valinda is a school teacher from up north, and she comes down to teach freed slaves how to read and write so that, you know, they can make better lives for themselves. This is an amazing book as well. This focuses more on Reconstruction, and I also learned so much more about it. I know, you know, it just, her books and the history of her books and all the information that she puts in here, she puts a lot of valuable information in here, so you also walk away with a history lesson when you read these books. Next is, this is the series that actually prompted me and made me want to read Beverly Jenkins books. The last book in the series, when it came out, was what made me want to start buying her books. So, without further ado, this is the series I was talking about from Through the Storm. So, Sable, like I said, her and her brother were biracial and they could pass. So, in this book, Sable decides not to pass, whereas her brother decides to pass. And with him deciding to pass means that they will not be able to have a relationship, because he would be passing as white and she would be black. So because the black and white thing, they could not intermix, which is kind of bittersweet. It was kind of a bittersweet deal. So this is his series. This is the Old West series, and this is about him and his family. And she explained that she had a lot of readers who wanted to know if Ryan, which is his name, went on to pass, and if he was able to pass, and how he was able to pass, and what he did while he passed. So this is actually a really good book. I love what he did. He didn't pass just to be passing, or just, to have a better life. That was reason for him doing that, but he also went to pass so that he can help the black race as well during Reconstruction. And this is also Old West series, so he's all the way out in the Old West. So if I remember correctly, he had a brother, a white brother, and half brother, and they went into the army together. They served in the war together, and he went, and that's how he passed. So it's an amazing book. I love it, love it, love it, love it. And then the second and the third book are pretty much the children that they raised, the two girls that they raised in these books. And my goodness, I love it. I just love the romance, and I went through these two series, I went through them so fast. And then these two books, I read them so fast, it made my head spin. This book, I could not put it down. And Tempest is actually the first book that I saw. It just started popping up on my Goodreads, on my Goodreads feed and recommendations. So I just thought, and a good cover always attracts my attention. It always catches my eye. The blue dress caught my eye. My favorite color is blue, and I just love the cover. It's beautiful. Made me want to read it. The description was amazing. It just like, oh, And then when I found out it was the last book in a series, I was just like, oh my gosh, I can't read this yet. I can't read it yet. I have to get the rest of the series. And so I did, and I do not regret it. So that is that for the Old West series. And for the next series, if I didn't mention this before, I'm just gonna let you know now, and I'm sorry if I already did. I don't want to be repeating myself, but I apologize if I am repeating myself. I will link every single book in the description box below, and I will also link her on Amazon as well, because I do buy my books on Amazon for the most part. But yeah, I'm gonna link every book down below so that you can check it out yourself if you would like to purchase it. Hey. So this is the Destiny series. This is the last half of the books that I own by Beverly Jenkins in the Destiny series. So far, I have only read the second book because I found that I was just shopping one day in the bookstore and I just came across Destiny Surrender, and I was just, that was my first time discovering her, going through her books, and trying to figure out what's what and how should I go about reading this series. I would say if you wanted to read it out of order, I don't think it will hurt. I think the only thing that bothered me was the fact that, I started in the middle of a series and I don't know the character, the main characters, the male character is his family, and it's the Yates family, and I don't know anything about the Yates. So just reading the second book right off the bat was kind of just a little bit confusing to me personally. Excuse me, I'm taking a little water sippy. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. This is the first book in this Destiny series, and this is Destiny's Embrace, and this is about Logan Yates, and if I remember correctly from the second book, he is the oldest. He is the eldest brother of the family, and I have not read this book. I have not read this yet, and this will be in my TBR for May. So, the next book is Destiny Surrender, and this is the one that I did read. This was the first book that I owned by Beverly Jenkins, and I absolutely love this book. It took me a while to read it because that is when I realized that I had the second book. So, and then I was running out of books to read. I was running out of books that I owned, and I was just like, I was on fire reading Beverly Jenkins books. So I was absolutely on fire. I had this, I bought Rebel. I do believe, okay, so if I go back, I bought these two at the same time, and amazing books, honestly, amazing. So I bought Forbidden and Destiny Surrender on the same day at the same time at the bookstore, and then I found Tempest, Breathless, and Rebel at the bookstore, and I bought them, just because they did not have any other Beverly Jenkins books, so I just bought what I could and tried to read what I could. And after I read this last fall, everything, the rest is history. I breezed through everything. I just quickly read everything just like that. I couldn't stop, and I'm still on the move with Beverly Jenkins books, and I love it. I love it, love it, love it. This is an amazing book. So she is basically, Billy is the female protagonist in the story, and she's basically, she's a prostitute, and she is in love with Andrew Yates, one of her best customers. So she ends up pregnant, and he's the father, and it's a roller coaster afterwards. It's amazing. It's an amazing story. So, the next book in the series, which is the third and final book in the Destiny series, which is Destiny's Captive. I have not read this yet either, but this is going to be in next month's DVR as well. So I love this storyline. I cannot wait to read this. Oh my gosh. So I cannot wait to give the description of this book in the next video. Look, you guys, I love Beverly Jenkins books. So much history, so much knowledge you gain from these books. And just look at the cover. Look at the cover. It's got pirate vibes written all over it. Like, that's why I am so in love with this. I know I'm going to be so in love with this book. I'm so in love with the book cover. I'm so in love with the man on the cover. Oh my gosh. But, hey, I can't wait to read it regardless. So, that is all for this video today. And go ahead and give me a thumbs up if you liked it. Link down below your favorite books and recommend your favorite books down below as well. And I will purchase it and read it if I do not already own it or if I have not already read it. So, thank you for watching. Have a great day. Bye.